Okay, so I had to restart this video. I don't know if I'll plug it together because really all I did was take it out of its box and wipe a bunch of grease off of it. I run the action a little bit. I talked just slightly about the grip. The detent is really late on this. It's way up there. So I did figure out running this action that it's easy to end up double clutching this because even right there, it's going to go back home in the open position. So you really got to get it past that detent. But visually, I mean, I'm feeling this knife. This G10, it's closer to the G10 that you find on like a zero tolerance or a Spyderco. You know, some of their really grippy G10. And this is starting to get there. It's got a great texture, a lot of grip. So the other thing that I'd mention here is that I talked briefly about this pocket clip, this spring steel clip. The way that this is coming out of there like a hooded viper, I mean, it acts like it too in the hand. So bearing down on a grip, that thing is right here in your hand. But I'm looking at it, I'm saying that's over pronounced. So I think that if I'm careful, I can bend this down a little bit and it'll still clear my thick pants with plenty of tension to hold on. It's pretty narrow once you get under there, so the ability for this to grab something is going to be pretty good. This is only so that you can get over some pants. So just initial observations. Anyways, let's get in it. Let's see what's going on. I probably won't plug in that other video. You didn't miss anything. It's just unboxing, and some of these I'm not doing unboxings anymore. I did notice on this pocket clip that it's recessed into that scale with two screws. So at first glance, it looks like it's surface mounted, but investigating it, I did see that, and fairly good hardware, that it's recessed. Sure enough, it's recessed completely into that G10. So I'm not a fan of that, but worst case scenario, what else are you going to do here? I'm not sure how else you handle that, but you recess it and put at least two screws in it. So yeah, I'm not hating on it. Lots of oily on the inside. Got steel liner locks. Backspacer. It is skeletonized on this side for weight reduction. It's kind of interesting because, I mean, it's a large knife. There's no question about that. This isn't a medium knife. This is 100% a large knife. I mean, it's pretty oily. It doesn't really look dirty per se, but let's clean it up. We'll get it back together. Yeah, so had a little distraction and paused the video and had every intention to come back to it. And by the time I came back, it had shut off, and so I'm not going to splice it in though. Y'all don't need to see me open a box and cut open a package. I'll tell you what's kind of driving that right now is TWOSUNs especially, but the TWOSUNs aren't coming in a tape plastic package. I mean, the last several that I've gotten have two plastic bags, but they're not taped shut. They're just open. So I don't know, and I don't really care. I mean, I'm not presenting that as a concern or a complaint or anything. It's just it got me thinking. I mean, it's just in a plastic bag, so I guess the whole point of that is to represent that I haven't, fondled the knife, or, it's my first look at it or whatever. I don't know. But I don't think y'all care if I handled it before, and, I don't know. It's kind of silly. So it's an easy way to save some time in the video and probably put more time towards the actual knife and the product and the materials and the function, the build quality, you know, that kind of thing, than spending time worrying about getting in the box. That's just my thought. And like I say, TWOSUN's not sealing the plastic kind of got me thinking that more than anything. So let's put this back together, but I can tell you that I am going to try to manipulate the spring steel before I put it back together. We'll see how much of that I can put on camera. It's not super hard, but you know, I need to grab it here, I believe, and bend down and get rid of that cobra shape, really, that it's carrying there. Anyways, let's get the knife back together, and then I'll concern myself with that about it. Yeah. Is that captured? I'm going to say it is not captured. It's a D, but it's not captured anywhere. Okay. It's a facade. It's a fake capture. There we go. Should have 2 pins or 1 pin. Oh, 2 pins. The other one was the backspacer. Okay. I guess that's like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Because that hole is for the lanyard. All right. Did I wipe these off? I don't think I did. Okay. I'm liking this blade, but ooh, that is a thick piece of D2. It's legit. No joke. All right. How about a little bit of the oily? Let's get a little lube on it. Okay. Yeah. Pretty simple. I like simple. Doesn't got to be complicated. Now, I will say, you know, when it comes to these knives, I like them complicated engineered ones too. They're fun. From a guy that disassembles them all, plays around with them. Yeah, I kind of dig it. Pocket clip, pocket clip. This is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, right there. Plenty of tension on that screw. Let's check that action. I mean, I might be too tight on it. I feels tighter than when I worked on it. So let's try again. Let's check that for play. Yeah, it's solid as a rock. Yeah, there we go. Pretty much drop shut now. Just get past that detent a little bit and it's encouraged to go. I mean, I can tell you that without that pocket clip poking me, the ergonomics on this are really, really nice. So I got to find a solution to that clip. So I think what I'm going to do, and where are we at on time? Got a little bit of time. I'm going to grab a couple of things here. And I think mostly this. I think if I can get this in here, like so, I probably want to put a rag on that because I don't want to mar it. Especially on the top, I don't think I care about the bottom because you never see it. So I think if I go like that, I think I got it where I want it. And then I'm going to try to influence it a little bit. It doesn't feel like it wants to be influenced. But without a doubt, I did. I mean, I say without a doubt I did, but I don't know. Did I? Let's look. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so remember it was up like a hooded cobra before, and now it's way down. It's not standing up in the air. I'm going to try to faux grab onto that. I think that's definitely better. Yeah, let's go with the less is more concept and see where we're at before I go changing it anymore. But clearly I can change it. So, I mean, if I have to come down, probably what I'll do is if I do it again, I'll measure this distance so that I can measure how much I'm affecting it. I'm going to say that's about 3 millimeters. So, anyways, I'm just talking now. Let's just put it back together and see how it grips. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. Normally, I don't modify knives. Like when I'm doing reviews, you just get it how I got it. And then if I got to modify it, we'll deal with that after the fact. But that was such a prominent thing in this knife. I mean, it was making me not like the knife. I mean, it's to the point of, I'm going to say, design flaw. Start using that kind of language. It's like, yeah, somebody didn't think that through. So, night and day. Now the clip, that little bit of change in that clip where it was up like a cobra, that pocket clip disappears now with a strong grip. And so let's just keep moving. Let me get this distraction out of the way. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy now, man. I was kind of sad because I was digging this blade shape. I like the G-10. And I was thinking this is a serious budget self-defense knife. But that clip was going to make it non-carryable for me. So this action now, so good. Basically drop shot. It's really hydraulic. Perfect lock up here. Or no rock in the pivot. Lockup's at 50%. Yeah, nice. I don't think I can fail this knife. Let's try. No. Once it's going, it ain't going to stop. And I think the reason is when I pull back on this bar, I don't think there's any friction on that blade at all. I think it's freewheeling. Yeah, look at. So the only thing impacting the drop on this knife is just the detent. I mean, speaking of that, I don't think I put oil on it, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to reach in there and just put just the tiniest little dab of oil on that detent ball. Yeah, right there. I mean, it's running back and forth on that blade, and it's not going to hurt it to have some lubrication. Yeah, drop shot. Action's really good on this. I like it. That detent is really late on this knife. Normally I don't kind of talk about that, but when it's this late, you run the risk of it double clutching. So you're there, but even there, it'll go back. Boom. So yeah, that's why I mention it. It's kind of late on the detent. It's not the end of the world. This isn't a dainty, delicate flower. This is a big knife for big actions and purposeful, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't like for soft, you're not going to put your hands on this in a delicate manner, this is, man, this is a serious blade. All right, let's talk ergonomics. So, I mean, I'm just going to go there right away. So this swoop on the spine of the blade right here and the jimping that goes along with it is really aggressive. And so a thumb forward, strong grip locks in there so good. I can't get that to focus on my thumb. There it is. That it's leaving a mark. And so that's so planted. Well, then that same jimping is here on the back of that flipper tab. And again, it's creating, I think I got a focus problem. Hold on one second. I mean, it could have been my eyeballs, but um, I think it's given much better tight focus now. Let's go back. It's a TS27 in D2 steel. I don't think I said that this time because I did it in the first part of the video. But yeah, TS27 in D2. And of course, that'll be in the notes of the video so you'd have seen it. But so this strong grip right here, this is planted in. These grooves are cut. I mean, these two fingers are good here. This one's good there. And then that last one is back there. Full four-finger grip with a solid here. So this is very confident, and 100% this could go to work as a self-defense knife. Intimidating. I mean, if this come out of your pocket and anybody saw that, it would be enough to say, maybe I should leave this person alone. Yeah, I love it. Wonderful ergonomics, and all I had to do was flatten that clip a little bit. Let's see if we made it so that it don't run, because, of course, then that would defeat it all, wouldn't it? Let's see if it runs. So these are my thick material, and look how easy it just goes over that thick material still, that tab. Just goes straight over it. It's got a good ramp, and in it goes. Now, amazingly healthy portion of knife remains above, but that's the design of this clip. That's the way that it's made. What it does is create a lot of knife to grab onto, and it's kind of required because this part of the pocket clip is really holding on. So to be able to reach down in that pocket and get a good grip on this, it's I think it's the right clip for this knife. Yeah, nice. On the thinner material, which would represent like a standard pair of jeans, it's just going to run a little bit easier, but still tension galore. Yeah, so I'm glad I did that fix because it completely changed this knife. I don't think I'd have carried it prior to making that fix just because this was such a hot spot. I mean, it was literally poking up into the bottom of your hand. And now it's all but gone. I mean, I can feel it under there, but no more so than, 90% of the good clips that I come across. The pocket clip works. Let's check for safety. Yeah, so right at the very beginning, I can kind of touch that blade, but man, I got to really try. And the rest of that's good, so I'm going to pass that because it's just in such a micro spot and just barely, and only if I'm really trying to get it. The tip is hidden. So yeah, it's a safe knife. If you put it in your pocket, you should be able to avoid any contact with the blade and not do any harm to yourself. Is it sharp? Let's find out. Wonder if it cuts. Tiny piece of paper. I mean, initial opinions are that it's super duper sharp. I mean, the kind that when it separates at the end, the paper is jumping away from the cut. Yeah, incredibly sharp. I like it. I like it a lot. Price and availability. So definitely a budget knife. TS27 in D2 steel, G10 scales, but the good G10. I mean, it's not quite what Zero Tolerance would put out or Spyderco. If you're familiar with what I'm talking about, they are bitey. But this has got a really good rough texture on it. Currently, you can find these for around $35. White Mountain Knives. I believe Amazon you can get these. I think that there's still some auctions going. And so that's right where I paid for it, was right at around $30 on eBay. So well within the budget knife criteria that I set, under 50. And I'd say with the size, the ergonomics of this knife, it's absolutely worth the $35 or so that it takes to pick one up. And I think it's not much more than that, the premium, to get one on Amazon. So if you buy it from Amazon, you're looking at next day. So you can order it tomorrow and or today and have it tomorrow. Pretty nice. So there it is, the TS27. Appreciate you watching.